Good evening, morning, night, or afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. I'm actually really enjoying that introduction. That's going to be my trademark. My name's Haroldson, and joined by my side are going to be three separate people, actually. Got a special cast today. We've got Midnight, who, as I've mentioned in previous instances, is going to be the cameraman and provider of the servers we are playing on. We have Schmulder.
Hello, guys.
And also we have Bam, who will be giving you the roster rundown and the teams that we have playing today.
Yes, hello. So for Team Baguettes and Wine, we have Nico, Jais, Kaiser, and Tough. And for the Mocarz.Team, we have Chesek, John, Figo, and...
Indeed. I mean, I'm not going to lie, the player I'm personally looking out for because of the performance I saw yesterday in a random game is going to be Krychak's. I don't know about you guys, but that's the guy I'll be looking out for.
Krychak could actually deliver some good game style, to be honest. So, not sure what my favorite is. I would say Toph, to be honest, because like he's my friend and he's the old pro gamer, as I could say.
I tell you what, actually, Toph is another guy, and the reason why is because I saw him in a Left 4 Dead 1 frag video, actually, with Kekari, the guy I co-casted with a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, maybe a few weeks ago. Like a veteran, not only Left 4 Dead 2 player, but, you know, Left 4 Dead 1 player to an extent as well. So another guy to be watching out for in terms of definitely individual skill. He's proven himself to be very talented in the frag videos I have seen, as well as his individual performance in games. It's not to say that anybody else is going to perform particularly worse, though. I'm looking forward to see all of the performances here. To be honest, though, I think in terms of the kind of MVP, I think yesterday it was kind of a battle between Dark Angel and Zaros. But and obviously I'm not going to give any spoilers on the game, but that's what I personally believed it was. This time I believe it's going to be a battle between Krychak's and Toph. Especially on the Survivor side. I think Survivor side, they're going to shine quite a bit.
Yeah, well, actually, Nico is also quite a strong player, in my opinion, as Survivor side.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'm talking about the Survivor side, but the thing that makes games exciting, in my opinion, is definitely the infected gameplay. When you see very well synchronized attacks. And especially when you see a very well-played tank as well. That's personally my favorite thing to see. So as much as I know these guys are very talented on Survivor sides, I'm really hoping the Infected side is going to shine a little bit more. Just so that we kind of have... I mean, obviously, I won't give any spoilers again, but, you know, hopefully we can have the same level of excitement as we had in a particular instance in yesterday's game. One of them, anyway.
Yes, indeed, yesterday's game was very exciting.
Yeah, that was the second. Today we do actually have 2 games as well, guys. So this will be the first of 2. There's going to be another game after this. I predict, and obviously there's no kind of set time that each game is going to last. It's not like, for example, Rocket League, where each game is going to be, other than overtime, it's going to be a set kind of time. But I predict that if it goes generally how each game goes, there about 45 minutes after this one, roughly, there should be another game to look forward to.
And we all guys can say how many pauses we will have in this game.
I'm gonna predict 6. First one after 2 minutes after the game goes live.
I mean, if you want to be technical, you can count this as a pause as well. This ready up phase. But speaking of pauses, we are going live now. I'm just gonna get the spec card up. So we have a Spitter, Jockey, Boomer, and a Smoker. No, we have a Charger, Jockey, Boomer, and a Smoker. I definitely saw a Spitter there, but I think that was Midnight's respec. Yeah, that's okay. Boomer's going from behind the bus, a very traditional spawn, actually. That's a very old school spawn, but he doesn't manage to connect anything. Smoker from behind the taxi behind. Tongue is cut, and both other spawns coming from the billboard. Charger is shut down before he can scratch the smoked victim. The smoked guy is the only guy who will take damage there, other than, I think, some friendly fire I just saw there. So that'll be the first attack.
Go on for miles. Maybe they left them when they got rescued.
They're just going to be making their way over the over the van here. I mean, I have to say, Shmuel, though, that's maybe a little bit too predictable of a boomer spawn. I don't know about you.
I agree. Like that boom spawn can actually work if the boomer wait a little bit more for survivors to go a little further. But I think he just like went a little early. But can work. Depends.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've personally I've been around since the release of this game. I remember playing the beta, like the test version, and yeah, that's definitely an old school spawn. I haven't seen that spawn used in a very long time actually, so kind of nice to see that spawn really, because I thought that spawn was just dead, but I guess. Boomer, Smoker, Hunter, and a Charger will be the bridge attack setup. Survivors are looking pretty good so far. They dealt with that attack very well, especially with shutting down the Charger before it could do any damage to the smoked victim. We have most of the spawns, other than the Smoker, positioned on top of the roof, above the survivors, on top of the bridge, I should say. Survivors patiently waiting. There's a Hunter pouncing around. He's not going in yet. He's just causing some distraction. He's moving in from the back, actually. A Boomer's going to go in after him, getting onto 3 survivors. There could be a separation charge here, but it actually just ends up being a scratch and a pummel onto the guy who's smoked. The Hunter temporarily lands onto Ellis, but is cleared very quickly because they're keeping relative distance. They dealt with that quite well, I would say. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, I mean, it could have ended up a lot worse here, to be honest. With that triple boom. Yeah,
I mean that's basically what I'm thinking, because oh, actually we've got a smoke on the billboard here and he isn't cleared in time. Luckily the god frames will prevent him from taking fall damage, but yeah, as I was saying, I mean the reason why I say they did well is just because they had 3 people boomed and they had a smoked guy with a charger on him, so it was good that they managed to mitigate the damage as much as they could there. We are going to see a Yatsek tank here. He's going to be just on the fence here, throwing some rocks. That actually, if that was any higher, that could have hit Ellis's view. Just positioned on the lorry now.
Whoa!
Oh,
Okay.
That's exactly what I was talking about, actually. Yeah, he managed to do it. Boomer from on top of the billboard. Nice positioning there. I really like that Boomer spot. Rocket's travelling in, they just about clear it, and there's a Charger and a Jockey moving in now. Charger temporarily lands into Nick, some damage dealt to him. Damage is actually trickling across the board here. As we're going to see the tank just reposition. Might be looking to bring some cars in. He's just in the pool area at the moment. I mean, you know, like I say, with damage trickling in, we do have 2 survivors on about 53 and 54 HP. So they really do need to try and make sure that they're preventing this damage, because the real danger of this tank fight is definitely the car, I would say, in terms of... There's a lot of dangers anyway. There's a Hunter moving in, everybody from the same direction. Smoker Tongue is cut immediately, Jockey landing onto Ellis, cleared immediately. Hunter cleared before he can land anything. Smoker Tongue cut again. Smoker's on 172 HP. Going to get a last-minute smoke onto Coach. He may be dying here, though. They're not going to chase him, actually. So the cars are being repositioned. There'll be a car on the roof, but behind the generator, which is going to make it slightly awkward to reposition from there. The first hit is going to be very hit or miss. It might actually end up flying where he doesn't want it.
Well,
Currently
tank is
on...
already second pass now.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say, actually. Yeah, they do need to send this tank in pretty soon. 35% on the second pass, so he is going to be climbing up the billboard and he'll be moving in without a car, actually. So we're going to see how he plays this. They're all moving in the same direction, but they are moving into a Charger who's going to be spawning into the truck. He's going to be charging Coach and a temporary dual cap here. There is a propane canister there, but they're not going to be shooting it because everybody's all around. He's going to be in-capping Nick there. The spawns are now cleared, but Kaiser, aka Coach, is nearly down. The rock actually ends up hitting the smoke victim there, Ellis, so he's ended up freeing from that. 1 in-cap in total, 2 people on red HP, pretty much. Tank has retreated with 1,300 HP, which is gradually going down, and they're just kind of pressuring him now. But only as much as they can, really, because he is behind that bus. But he's on his second pass, so he can't hide for too long. Jockey spawned up on the hill here, moving in, just pouncing around. They do have a Boomer as well. They need to be very careful of this. He's in a very good spot, actually, behind the fence. But Coach is blocking it, not intentionally, mind you. Hunter's moving in. He gets dead stopped by Ellis and then ended up getting killed. The rock actually just barely misses Ellis there, and they haven't been able to send this Boomer in yet, which really is what they need at the moment, especially considering the state of the survivors. Tank, yeah, like I say, has actually moved to AI, and they're just shooting his feet underneath the bus there. Boomer, I don't know if he's going to try and go in here or not. I think he's going to wait for them to kill this tank off, and then they're going to wait for them to be in a better position. Hunter, Jockey, Boomer, and final spawn in 2 seconds will be Smoker. So they have a 3-1 minus the Charger and minus the Spitter. Tank has now died. He landed 3 punches and 1 rock in a time frame of 3 minutes. So pretty, honestly, not the worst tank, actually. Pretty good.
Okay.
I must say that's pretty honest damage right there.
Ammo here.
I mean, I'm sure they were hoping for a lot more. They did get a nice dual cap, and they obviously had to be careful of that propane canister. I'm sure they were actually expecting more than 1 in cap, and honestly, so was I, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, that just shows that the survivors did very well to mitigate the damage. There's Jockey climbing up the billboard there on the ladder, going for Nick in the back here. He does connect, but will be cleared instantly. So the other spawns aren't going to try and go in on that. So I think perhaps a bit of miscommunication. We do have a choke point here, but it just, it's dependent on whether they want to send 3 spawns in it or not, because they have another spawn coming up in 8 seconds. By the way they're positioned, they may actually be looking to try and get the survivors here at this choke point. Toff, aka Ellis, is slow. They have a boomer from below, getting a nice boom onto 3 survivors. But the survivors are all positioning themselves into the room here. Could be dangerous with the Spitter, which they do actually have. The Spitter's going to be spitting in there. The spread isn't looking too good, but then again, only 1 person is going to be incapped by it, and he was going down very shortly anyway. Smoker's going to land onto Nick, but the window frame there is going to prevent him from being pulled out, which is very fortunate for him. They're going to be reviving Ellis now. Smoker is cleared very quickly. That is not going to put Ellis black and white yet. There is a charge around the corner, actually. Very nice pressure here. He connects with the pillar, though, or the little pole there, so he couldn't actually separate them. That's unfortunate.
Reloading.
Jockey's moving in, getting dead stops and killed. They're sending the spawns in very quickly, actually, keeping the pressure up. They don't want these guys to be making it in with any medkits. They want to... Obviously, they want to go for the kill, but, what's very important at the moment is getting rid of those 2 medkits and reducing their bonus points. They won't have another attack for 7 seconds unless they send 3 spawns in. Those 3 spawns are going to be Boomer, Smoker, and the Hunter. They're all positioned above the survivors here. Survivors are just at the police car, just waiting around, clearing all the common infected that are slowly trickling in. Smoker appears to be spawned up, actually, just behind the hill. I suppose he doesn't really want to risk getting his spawn blocked. There is also a witch that he's positioned at. So we'll have to see, because I just realized they haven't dealt with the witch yet. So we do have Nico, a.k.a. Nick, on top of the kind of... Actually, I'm going to interrupt myself there. Witch is moving in now. Nice remote crown by Ellis here. There's a Hunter pouncing in from up top. He's going to land, but the spit does not connect with him. Perhaps a little bit too premature on the spit there, so the spawns are now down. There's a Smoker already spawned up from that witch fight there. He's going to be looking to reposition. Maybe even try and get a pull here, but they're all dropping down in unison, so that won't be possible. God, it's difficult to stop talking, really, because they're attacking so quickly and so regularly. There's a Boomer, Smoker, Jockey, and final spawn in 2 seconds is going to be a
Watch out!
I think really what they're going to do here is go for the hill attack. Pretty good setup, but you can argue maybe not the best place to attack, considering the open area. They're just going to have to make use of the bushes, really, because the bushes, when you're hiding in them, it makes you very hard to see. We have 3 spawns from the top and 1 spawn, which is the Boomer, from below. They're just going to be waiting for the survivors to be in a more ideal situation. Boomer from behind, they noticed him in time. Very nicely done there with the awareness. Jockey's going to be pouncing in from the top. He hasn't landed yet and is taking a lot of damage. He's going to be killed very quickly. Smoker's moving in. Charger gets a nice little charge there onto Coach. Gets a pummel as well as the connection. So that's 20 damage onto Coach. He is now slow.
Whispering Oaks. We made it.
Reloading.
But I'm not going to lie. I think they're actually going to make it in here.
House in the trailer.
The spawns won't be up, apart from a Hunter. There is a Hunter up at the moment. He's the only spawn they have for a few seconds. There's a Hunter and a Spitter combination, both going from behind the Jeep here. They're going to spit at the doorway to make sure they don't make it in. The spit spreads just about ideally enough so that they can't do that. Hunter's on the safe room roof. They have a Boomer and a Jockey. Jockey's moving in as well as the Hunter. Hunter lands onto Nick, but the Jockey is shut down very easily. The 2 boom survivors, 2 survivors in the safe room are boomed. They're going to be clearing these common infected, and they will be making it in with a bonus points margin of 125.
I think they did a pretty nice job, to be honest. they had some close calls. They nearly ate that tri-cap during the tank, and it would have been over at that point. So I'm happy to see that they made it all the way to the safe room.
I agree. Me as well.
Yep, not gonna lie, it didn't look good for them in quite a few cases, as you say. But they pulled out the stops. They managed to accumulate a total of 625 points for this first map, which honestly, that kind of means that if these guys make it to the safe room even perfectly, the score margin still won't be that big. So they have secured themselves a pretty good bonus kind of, well, a pretty good point margin in general, really. What they're going to be hoping for, fairly obviously, is they're going to be hoping to create a margin for themselves, and they're going to be hoping to kill these guys. Perhaps even do a better job on the tank in terms of maybe a slightly better, either a better coordinated tri-cap or even a boomer from behind that fence, that horrible, really awkward place where you just can't shoot that boomer in time before he vomits.
And the car placement for sure, which is very crucial at this point.
Yeah, that's another point worth mentioning actually is that they didn't actually use a car in that tank fight. They struggled a bit too much with positioning it where they needed it to go. So that meant that they had to abandon the car altogether and just move in without the car. So that's actually something to keep in mind in terms of how well they actually played without a car. They actually did quite good to get the damage they did. Boomer is in a similar position. We do have Krychak's, aka Coach, moving through the bus though. That spawn is blocked. He's going to try and vomit over the van there. Not able to do so. Separated victim here onto Rochelle. There's going to be some smoke damage and some charge damage. Not very much happening though. Jockey is a little bit staggered, and he's going to be getting a scratch onto Ellis before he dies.
Reload.
And that will conclude the first attack. We've got 16 seconds to go before the next one.
Reloading.
I hope to see some nice coordination from Team Baguette and Wine. Even they seem not that experienced together as the Polish team. So I'm really hoping like they can communicate properly and make some nice synchronization.
Reloading.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, the thing there is that the jockey was a bit staggered, so we're going to hope to see a better coordination, which I'm hoping to see now. There is a boomer from the bushes here. The Chargers do not make it. Smoker onto Ellis there. He's slightly separated, but he's going to be killed quite quickly. Boomer wasn't able to land, unfortunately. They're very aware of their surroundings, these guys on the survivor side. I believe actually that's the second boomer that they completely denied. You know, they've got good map awareness or good map knowledge, and they've got good spatial awareness, so they're able to position themselves in ways that the boomer can't get to them. They know exactly what they're doing there, so that's good to see. There is a hunter, boomer, charger, and a jockey, so we do have a tri-cap minus the spitter. Decent spawn actually for this choke point. Hunter does move in though, very, very high pounce, and he will be completely demolished by 3 survivors all looking at him. Boomer is in that very nice position that I complimented earlier, on top of the billboard. Tank is now spawned in the hands of Jays. He's going to be moving the car in. Nice boomer spawn by Toff there, showing he's got the map knowledge. He's manages to boom 2 survivors. That car there is in a slightly better position actually. If he can position onto the car on the roof and get that more towards them, that could be what they need. He's just throwing rocks in the meantime. I'm actually wondering if a better decision there would have been to move the tank in while they were boomed. I'm not sure.
That would be more ideal for them, to be honest, man. Let's see.
Hunter, charger, and a smoker. They don't have a boomer this time. He's going to be on the fence here. Hunter's moving in, pouncing around for distraction for the charger. Smoker's going to land onto Coach, but Coach actually manages to clear the Hunter while he was smoked. Tank is moving the car in actually, but he doesn't have any... Oh my goodness, Coach, you are quite lucky there actually, not going to lie. That nearly hit Coach, that car. He's on 40% of his pass number 1. They're going to pressure him though, he's not in a good position here. He may be able to land a punch onto Rochelle. I don't think he realizes Rochelle is behind him though. He has no choice but to move in. He's completely surrounded. He may even die before he can get a punch. He misses his first punch. Krychak showing the jukes there, and he didn't even get a single punch, guys.
Oh, it looked so promising with the car positioning, but nope.
What I noticed was that the car was in a really bad position, but they made the attack so the tank can actually reposition the car, but it cost them the tank because Team Mocarz just pushed them fairly, like really nicely pushed the tank, and it cost the tank health, like it cost their tank life.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's very, very sad to see, actually, unfortunately. But nonetheless, they do have some choke points and attacks to make up for it. The Charger splits a Boomer and a Hunter. Boomer goes first onto one survivor. They might not be looking to attack with. Hunter spawned up, actually. He's going to be moving in for Ellis there, who's a little bit separated. Charger's got a nice... A nice charge here, actually. Two people are getting up in that spit, so that's some damage. They're going to be needing stuff like that, really. Hopefully they can get rid of at least one of the medkits at the very least, because they're in very good health at the moment. And obviously there is also the Witch. They're going to be hoping to deny them that 25 bonus point margin, really. I don't know if they can make it in time, though, because they only have a Jockey, and he's not going to be able to spawn near her. That Witch is going to be dealt with very quickly, actually, by Coach, with the Jockey chasing him from behind, so very nicely done. They're all dropping down in unison here. The Smoker, Boomer, Jockey, and a Charger is what they have to work with. Jockey's just jumping around, being a nuisance. There's a Charger from behind the tree, gets a nice separation charge onto Nick there, but the Smoker does unfortunately miss his spawn, so he's not able to actually intercept with that. So decent damage on the board, but not enough to warrant using a medkit. Won't be getting another attack for at least 15 seconds here. So at the moment, as we say, they have a Smoker. Two more spawns coming up in 2 seconds. Be a Spitter and a Jockey. So Smoker, Jockey, and a Spitter. They really hope they're not going to get a Boomer here, because not the best setup in the world, especially not for this area. Speak of the devil, they have a Boomer. Jockey and Smoker from a similar position, actually, as well as the Spitter, so they don't really have anywhere else to look. Boomer's from a different direction. Separation spoke onto Rochelle, but the tongue is cut. Boomer from behind manages to land onto one survivor. Smoker's going to try and pull Coach into the spit there. He does temporarily, some damage happening, but they have 3 sets of pain pills, so they don't really have a need to use these medkits. So they're looking like they're going to make it into the safe room with a good margin, unless they can get a last-minute attack.
Team Mocarz looking very good after the first map. Not gonna lie, they moved together like a unit. They're very aware of their surroundings. They push when they need to push, they hide when they need to hide. So let's see how it will look later.
Well, the point difference is not that huge.
Yeah, that's actually what I was saying in the beginning of the round. In terms of 625, isn't that bad. As you can see here, that's pretty much what I was saying in terms of how they made it perfectly in terms of preserving all 4 medkits, killing the tank, and killing the Witch, so they got all the bonus points. Nonetheless, it didn't really secure them that high of a bonus margin, or bonus point margin, really, because we're seeing here that Baguettes and Wine, I love that name, they have 625 points to their name. Team Mocarz, providing they played perfectly, they have 795, so the point margin is not really that big. We're going to hope to see a slightly better infected round, especially on the tank, honestly. We're going to have to see how they play the tank this round, because that round, I don't believe they were communicating well enough. That's personally my observation on the tank fight on map 1 in the hands of Baguettes and Wine.
I agree, but as we could see in previous matches, every point counts. Every point counts.
Indeed.
It does, yep. Even 25 points can be the difference. So we're going to see a traditional attack here on top of the safe room roof. Jockey, Boomer, Hunter, and a Spitter will be the setup. Hunter's already pre-spawned. Boomer's going to rocket in. They don't manage to kill him. 3 booms. Maybe they can make something happen here. There's 2 survivors outside there. There's a Jockey victim in the spit. They haven't cleared him yet. This is so much damage onto John, aka Rochelle here. He could even go down. That's what they need. He didn't actually go down. He got 2 HP. Wow.
This MVP Boomer.
Yeah, that's what they need. They need stuff like that. I mean, he already, look at that health. 3 health onto Rochelle. That's exactly the kind of pressure that they need to be keeping up on these guys if they want a chance in this game. Charger, Boomer. Final spawns are going to be Hunter and a Jockey. So we have a Tri-Cap minus the Spitter and minus the Smoker. The next attack is going to be kind of at this roof area. They did find a set of pain pills, which they gave to Rochelle, who will be using them. But obviously, pain pills don't give permanent HP, they give temporary HP, so eventually she's just going to have to be either finding more pain pills or using a medkit. We'll have to see what happens there. So, pretty good setup they have, really. Hunter can get a damage pounce. Boomer's going to rocket in. He manages to get a boom again, so the Boomer went first again and ended up getting somebody. Damage pounce attempt from the Hunter. Jockey onto Rochelle around the corner here. That's going to be more damage onto her, and they know where she is, and they're going to clear her. But as you can see, those pain pills she took, they've already gone. Not going to lie.
Reloading.
And also the spawn timers are a little bit staggered, actually. The final spawn died there is going to be up in 14 seconds. So far there's 2 spawns, which is, oh god, a boomer and a spitter. Actually, to be fair, boomer and a spitter in this area, it's actually kind of close quarters, so that can actually work, especially if the boomer gets a stumble and dies in the middle of them and stumbles them in the spit. Hunter and a jockey is what they have to work with, and as I was saying, Rochelle has actually had to use her medkit, so already they have reduced their potential bonus points by 25. There's a hunter in the distance, so that's the guy becoming the tank, so that will be killed off. We have Kaiser, who will be the tank for map 2. Jockey's moving in for distraction for the boomer. Nicely done, though, actually, shutting down the boomer there. Spitter's going to go for some delay. He does manage to get the delay, but the tank, unfortunately, due to where he spawned, is a little too far away to make anything happen from. He's looking to get the dumpsters in. It's not really playing ball, though. He's not able to make anything happen, so he's just going to skip that. He still has the forklift to work with, just where the survivors exited just there. So we'll have to see how they play this. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing a slightly better performance, really, because they've already gotten rid of a medkit. They just need to keep working here. If they can make something happen with this forklift, that could be the difference. But speaking of making things happen, those tables are not letting him move. He's got it in a decent position. Survivors are going to be positioned kind of round the tree there. There's 2 building structures and the tree. That's generally what you want to be using to dodge the. He's moving it in. He just barely misses the survivors there. The spawns don't need to attack yet, though. He's on 20% of his first pass. The spawns are going to be. He's going to try and actually chase them into the forklift here. He may actually be able to. Nick is aware of the position of that. There's a charger moving in for Coach. Doesn't make the connection. All the spawns are going to be moving down, so he may actually just have to go for a last-ditch attempt onto Nick here. Gets 1 punch, going to be throwing a rock. Doesn't make the connection, and oh dear, the spawns won't over to land.
That was unfortunate. That was unfortunate. It was looking so good with the forklift going like that there, but goddamn.
Indeed.
Basson, yeah. I mean, you know, the kind of a theme of the game, but it is unfortunate. It is the correct word to be using here. The spawns weren't really able to make anything happen for the tank. No spawns actually landed because the survivors were very well aware of where they were coming from. Boomer's going to be moving in. He gets dead stops and shut down, so they're actually shutting down the boomers now, which is the difference. Smoker's going to land onto Coach here, as well as a charger inside the room, but the Spitter's outside. The Spitter isn't able to connect with that, which could have been a potential in-cap. There is a smoke into the Spit, though, to make up for it. Some good damage actually onto Nick, despite the fact that he didn't get his bat on. Not really much stagger going on in terms of the spawn times. They'll be up on relatively the same kind of time. There'll be a hunter to begin.
Holy shit!
They're going to have spawns in time for the alleyway coming up. It's just whether they want to attack at the alleyway or whether they want to attack at the ladder. Or even, as we saw yesterday, actually, an unconventional attack of attacking before the ladder. That was quite exciting to see. Spitter's not really enjoying having a Spitter there. Is going to get rid of that spawn. So with that in mind, it looks like they are going to be attacking at the ladder instead of the alleyway. Then again, the boomer is above them, so have to see what they do here. So far, they have a hunter and a boomer to work with. The boomer does boom from on top. He gets a boom onto 2 survivors. Probably looking to slow them down, but then again, he did die, so he's going to put his spawn timer at 15 seconds at the moment. So far, they have they have a hunter, smoker, and a charger. The next spawn is most likely going to be a Spitter because it was a boomer beforehand. Smoker and charger are all spawned up here. Survivors are going to be fairly patient. They have Nick, who is low, but with a set of pain pills. First victim is trying to be smoked, but he gets a tongue cut. Boomer onto 3 survivors. There is another boomer, actually. Charger is shut down before anything can happen. There's a smoke victim who gets a bit of damage, but that's the most they can do, really. Smoker's going to be shut down, so they dealt with that choke point fairly well.
I agree. It was kind of a risky play from Infected Team, to be honest, sending that Spitter there, because it's really readable, pretty much readable that they will attack at a ladder.
And we saw absolutely no difficulty there with Coach killing that witch. Didn't even wait for her to stand up, just completely obliterated her, so that was well played. That's 25 bonus points to them. Jockey, Boomer, Spitter, and Hunter will be the setup for, wherever they choose to attack, really. There's a lot of options. They're going to be around the corner, though. Hunter's not going to be wall kicking, he's just going to be crouching down and getting himself killed. There's a Boomer onto 1 survivor. Jockey's moving in, trying to work with the Spitter, but he's dead stopped and sliced with what looks like a katana there. Yeah, it is a katana. So They have 1 set of pain pills, they have 3 medkits, so, I mean, the highlight of the game so far is very unfortunately the first attack at the safe room. Survivors making their way through the crescendo here, which is going to be a constant trickle of common infected. So far, there's a charger and a smoker, accompanied with a boomer, final spawn in 1 second, which will be a hunter. So Tricap, minus the jockey and minus the spit. Looks like we've got a boomer behind the tree here. He gets dead stopped again and killed. They're shutting down these boomers and not allowing them any light. A hunter moving in from the front. There's a charger not connecting with anybody, unfortunately. A hunter's going to land onto Ellis behind the tree. Some damage happening there. Nothing to rave about, though. They still have a set of pain pills in case anybody's slow. Smoker from behind trying to delay them as much as they can. He will be shut down by Ellis's Uzi there. So the survivors are going to be moving forward and pretty much going to be making it into the safe room. There's going to be 1 spawn up now, which is only a spitter. That's not going to be able to do anything. So making it into the safe room with a similar bonus point margin of 260, guys. Oh dear.
Oh dear, oh dear. Looking good for Team Mocarz right here. Really nice survival play. Team Baguettes and Wine need to like really push themselves to manage those infected attacks, be more precise, more deadly. And we still have many maps ahead of us.
Well, the tanks are making quite a huge difference here. I feel like Baguettes and Wine's tank plays haven't been that strong in comparison to Mocarz.
I have to agree with you. The tanks are the difference maker here. We did actually see the last map 1. There was actually no punch landed whatsoever, and this time I believe there was only 1. So the tanks really are not making any difference, and that's unfortunately it's what they need to be changing up here in the upcoming maps. But they have Survivor to focus on here. Spawns are already up there. There's a boomer on the roof. He's going to be shut down. Nicely done there. Actually, oh, do you know what? Hunter's going to be trying to get a DP damage bounce. Do you know what? Actually, I don't know if you guys noticed, but you see Rochelle jumping constantly on that table there. She was actually blocking some of the spawns. That was very smart, actually. Whoever Rochelle is, that's Jais. Good job, Jais. That was very smart.
Yes.
Agree.
I've never seen that before, actually. I mean, I know it's possible, but I've just never seen that in so far in this tournament. So you got to give him props there. Actually, that's MVP level kind of play. That is. They actually had to reposition some of their spawns because of that, and the boomer couldn't spawn in time because he was above jumping Rochelle. Charger, Spitter, Boomer, and a Hunter is a very devastating setup actually for inside. We have a Hunter on the boxes there. Boomer's actually in a nice position here behind the fence. Slightly unconventional. Normally, Boomers, what they'll do is they'll rocket boom from above on the roof. He's going to be spawning behind the fence. Nice spawn there, but only managing to get 1 survivor, and it is actually before they make it inside, which means that they may actually reposition and go outside. The Charger might be looking to do that. And he's decided against it. So the Boomer is actually going to run out here. No common infected to deal with. I think they're still going to attack inside though. There's a Hunter waiting for a wall kick. Charger's going to get a scratch and oh no, and a charge onto Ellis, who's in the spit. That's going to be significant damage there, and close to an in-cap, but not quite. He does have a set of pain pills. So actually, when you press tab, they're actually in a similar state to the previous team at the moment.
Let's see what they do with this tank. I'm hoping they won't eat this forklift.
Yeah, that's we'll have to see how these guys play in terms of this, because last map they couldn't actually make the hittables work. And speaking of making them work, the dumpster isn't playing ball at the moment, but no, it's just going wherever it wants. He's going to abandon that attempt. It looks like he's going to be repositioning potentially to get the forklift. They do have a Boomer actually on the infected side. Yatsek will be playing that Boomer, so it's going to come down to him. If he can land that Boomer, then these guys are in trouble. And there are actually a lot of Boomer spots here, especially on the structures where the survivors are, that he can spawn on both of those. So they need to be very careful and aware of that. So far, the tank has taken... yeah, that's exactly what they needed. They need to shut down that Boomer. There's a Hunter landing onto Rochelle as well as a Jockey, actually, both piling onto her. Not a heck of a lot happening, actually, because they did manage to shut down that Boomer. They're breaking line of sight now. Tank is on pass number 1 at 40%. He's going to be going to ground level, trying to land a rock onto the side of their hitboxes there. They don't know he's there at the moment. He's only taken 460 damage at the moment on 94% HP. Still on pass number 1, but it's looking like it may go to pass number 2, so he's running out of time to actually be throwing rocks there. It's looking like he's going to move in. Similarly to last time, he's not going to be electing to use a hittable. Jockey, Smoker, and a Charger is their setup. He's already on 2,000 HP. They need to make something happen here. Charger moving in for the guy in the back here. They may actually just be piling onto him. Coach is very separated. Charger successfully lands onto Ellis, but will be shut down before anything can happen. They completely annihilated the chance of being tri-capped. Nonetheless, the tank has already done more. He has already gotten an incapacitation onto Coach. 284 HP and gradually declining. Trying to get a curve rock through that doorway. They're unable to do so. They're chasing down the tank. He will die before he can make anything else happen. So slightly better performance, but they still managed to survive with decent shape, really.
And that's what we like to see from Team Baguettes and Wine.
Yeah, because you know, you can't deny that, as you said in map 1, Smoldo, that you can see that Mocarz are perhaps a little bit more comfortable with each other. I'm going to interrupt myself. There's a Boomer moving in, getting a Boom onto one survivor, which will be Coach. Hunter's waiting on the roof, maybe for a damage pounce to combine with the Spitter. There's a Jockey behind the stands there, moving in on the hot. There's a separated survivor here, but obviously that doesn't worry him. That's Ellis there, aka Toff. He's not worried about that. He can be wherever the hell he wants because he can shut down them both at the same time.
Toff is a unit.
Yeah, Toff is a unit in this team, unit of his own.
Indeed. So far we have a Smoker. The other spawns will be coming up in 6 seconds. But Coach may have to use his medkit fairly soon. I'm not going to lie. He's looking, not really looking like he's too happy at the moment. Smoker, Boomer, Charger, and a Hunter is going to be the setup for this choke point here. Smoker from the roof, Hunter from the roof, Boomer from behind the fence there. He waits with enough time. Nick has taken nearly 3 pummels, actually. He took the initial damage and a pummel, so that's 20 damage onto Nick. Coach did not get incaps there, and another incap will mean he's black and white. So I'm thinking he's going to be using it pretty soon. And plus, when you get to 1 HP on temporary HP, as you're about to see here, the movement speed is non-existent. You know, there's just nothing to it. You are so slow, and I don't think they're really going to want to keep this kind of movement speed up, especially considering he's 1 scratch away from incap from any of the infected. Literally all of them can incap him in 1 scratch. And they're going to do just that with the Spitter. They're going to incap him and send him into black and white, so he's going to be forced to use his medkit, I'm absolutely certain, because he'll be black and white. Charger, Hunter, and a Smoker are on top of them. They may actually be looking to go in here in the alleyway, which will be different from the previous team. That's not what they decided to do, Baguettes and Wine. So Mocarz may choose to actually attack in the alleyway here. By the way they're positioned, is looking likely. There's a Hunter already spawned up. Smoker from behind the little kind of generator object there. But then again, they've decided against it. They're all pressing E, they're respawning, and they're going to be going onto the ladder choke point, which I agree with, to be honest, considering they have a Spitter. Hunter was trying to get a damage pounce there onto the guy on the ladder, and obviously when you're on the ladder you can't actually shoot, but he gets pounced, but the spit was a little bit late there. If he wanted to make anything happen, they still have a Charger, and the spit is probably going to be dying on the ladder to deny them any chance to move up. They are actually not going to run through the spit, they're just going to be waiting below. They're all on fairly good health, and they still have 2 medkits and 1 set of pain pills, so they need to be keeping this up. Charger's going to be jumping down, trying to connect with Ellis. Can he actually get it? He does connect with Ellis, and he ends up charging him off of the roof there. And they need to try and clear him before he goes down at the very least. They do manage to do so. He actually, unfortunately, as you can see, guys, he has no medkit and no pain pills.
But as I mentioned, Toff is a unit, so he can manage, probably.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, he can manage, but not when he's boomed, and not when there's 1,000 common infected on him. So unfortunately, he's gonna be dying here, guys. There was so many common infected around him, and they actually dropped down to try and save him. So that will slow them down as well. Unfortunately, they've lost Toff. They've lost Ellis, so they're going to be running with 3 people now. That was a very nice coordination with the Smoker and Charger. There's a Jockey on the guy in the front there, which would be Rochelle. Hunter pouncing in, nicely shut down there by Nico. Well, I think they're all shooting him, to be honest. Spitter's going to die on the stairs, able to get some delay onto Nick there. He's not going to risk jumping over that. So they have a set of pain pills, which they're presumably going to be giving to Nick. I'm going to skip forward, actually, and just look at how many pain pills there are. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that, because there's a witch on the stairs. Spawns are still down for 3 seconds at least, so they're going to be looking to clear it, and they do just that, so they are going to award themselves the 25 bonus points. They do have one set of pain pills to look forward to, as well as the set that they have now, which is going to be consumed by Nick. So 3 survivors, as I say, the amount of points they can accumulate is reduced. Two boomed survivors at the moment. Hunter's pouncing around at the hot dog stand. There's a charger moving in onto Nick, but very nicely shut down with guns, actually, which is very nice. Instead of a melee weapon, it was actually completely just focus fired. Jockey's going to land onto Nick there, and some separation is happening here, as well as an interception by the Hunter onto Rochelle. That's going to be significant damage, although Coach does a very good job clearing the Hunter with the Common Infected distorting his aim there. That is going to be a clear, but nonetheless, it is a lot of damage happening on the board here. Nice interception by the Hunter on the jockey victim there. Spitter's going to be looking to spit in the doorway to separate them. There is a smoked victim onto, as Nick has smoked in the back there, but he's going to be cleared quite quickly. There's one set of pain pills, but 2 people need them, which means that Nico, aka Nick, is going to be using his medkit. They have 1 medkit to their name, 1 set of pain pills, which will be in the hands of Rochelle. She is probably going to be looking to take the pain pills instead of healing to try and keep the bonus points. Providing, of course, they make it. There is a boomer and a spitter, so they don't have a tri-cap attempt. They do have a jockey and a charger, though, so a lot of separation potential, but not a tri-cap potential. No pain pools consumed yet. They're going to be activating the event. Nicely shut down by the boomer there. Very good awareness, especially by Coach there. Charger's moving in. He's going to be getting a successful charge onto Rochelle, as well as the spit, although Rochelle is already down before the spit connects, so they need to be... either way, they have to wait to revive her. She should be taking her pain pills as soon as she is revived, so they can keep moving a lot faster. I believe she will do exactly that, which she does, so they're going to be moving forward. All survivors on full movement speed, because they're all above 50 HP. But speaking of 50 HP, Kaiser, aka Coach, is on 45, so they need to be careful of that. Jockey, Smoker, Spitter, and a Boomer. They have a Spitter and a Boomer combination again, so no tri-cap potential. They have good map awareness, as I say, though, and they managed to stop the Boomer from landing. Jockey's pouncing around on the tables here, trying to land onto Nick. He does successfully land onto Nick. They haven't cleared him yet. There's a Smoker victim into the back there. A Coach is going to decide to go for him instead of the Jockey victim. Oh, so much to say, so much to do. There's Nick being incapacitated behind the tents there, and they need to revive him as soon as they possibly can. Coach is the one with the katana. So perhaps he's the one who should be covering. Nonetheless, Rochelle does have a guitar. Boomer's going to successfully land on the 2 survivors, potentially a proxy and a successful proxy. All 3 survivors are boomed. They're swinging their melee weapons like no tomorrow because of those common infected. There's a jockey behind the corner there waiting to surprise Coach, and he does do just that. Smoker victim will be Rochelle. Oh, the charger does not connect, and that's what they needed to secure the wipe. Nonetheless, Nick is actually scratched by the charger, and therefore will be incapped in combination with the Smoker. Charger's waiting outside the corner here. They might not even make it in if they're not. Hunter's going to be getting a 6 damage bounce onto Coach, and that will actually secure the incap onto him as well. Only 1 survivor remaining, which is Rochelle. Can they actually make this happen? They're doing so well, I have to say. They need to keep this up if they want to make it. The common infected are actually hitting Rochelle there, but then a Boomer goes in onto 3 survivors again. She may actually have to just ditch this attempt and try and get into the safe room. There's no reviving these guys. This is too difficult. A valiant effort nonetheless to try and save her mates, but it isn't going to work. She will be securing herself a spot in the safe room, but only by herself. They only made it with 1 survivor here, guys.
Goddamn, hell of a round.
Oh, I'm getting so nervous for these guys, honestly. Losing top was very, so devastating.
Yeah, losing Toff indeed. That is that was the difference maker. The difference maker for that whole round was the Smoker onto Toff, and then the charger onto him to get him onto ground level. That was very unfortunate. And then obviously because he had no pain pills and no medkits, he actually had to end up going down. And he was boomed, and he had common. I'm not going to lie, actually, every infected, when you think about it, actually went for him. The Boomer got him, the Charger got him, the Smoker got him, and the Hunter got him. So I guess they were just trying to kill him. Really, they don't like Toff.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, can be a good tactic. Eliminate the best player in the opponent team to deal with the rest. Is more easy on paper.
Tough saying, do it, please. Oh, tough. So we We have a very devastating map here and a chance for a turnaround. 1,655 points are going to be in the hands of Mocarz and 1,171 in the hands of Baguettes and Wine. Honestly, I have to say that Baguettes and Wine, it would just be so much better for them if their tanks were a little bit better. Who's going to be the tank this time? It's going to be Jays. So let's just hope that this is going to be a chance for Jays to redeem himself, considering the unfortunate instance in map 1. He now has an attempt at redemption, and I'm hoping to see him successfully pull it off. I have to see this. Also, this map obviously as well has a crescendo, which is unforgiving as heck. It is very difficult to get through. Spitter, Smoker, Hunter, and a Boomer will be the initial setup for this ramp. Smoker's already spawned up in the hands of Toff. He's just going to be waiting around the corner. But now the survivors do know where he is, so they know how to prepare for him. There's a Boomer in the house to the left of the survivors. Well, obviously, if you're looking away from the safe room, he's going to be getting a successful boom onto one survivor. Hunter's moving in as well as Smoker. Spitter's going to be spool. Nicely shut down on the Hunter there. Actually, the Spitter isn't able to connect with anybody. Nonetheless, they got some decent damage onto Coach, considering the circumstances. It doesn't look like a lot, but considering how the attack went, it wasn't too bad, I suppose.
Reloading.
Going to be making their way through the tunnel of love here. There'll be a Jockey, Boomer, Smoker. Final spawn in 1 second, which will be a Hunter. Tricap minus the Charger. Boomer moves in and gets shut down immediately. Smoker tries to get some separation. Jockey moving in and gets shut down before any connection is made. Hunter lands onto the smoke victim there, so unfortunately a little bit of stagger. Not much damage happening so far.
Seems like Team Baguette and Wine need to rely on their tank right now. Like, all they can do right now.
Essentially, yeah, the tank will be at 40%, so it's they're going to get another attack before that. There'll be a Boomer, Spitter, Jockey, and final spawn is going to be a Hunter. Actually, I kind of like the setup for this indoor attack if they can pull it off, but the survivors have already made it in. They're very quick, these guys, that they really do know what they're doing. There's a Boomer behind the corner, the Hunter as well. I think what they're going to be doing now is going to be... No, they're going to be going in, actually. Hunter gets dead stops and shut down, as well as the Jockey. Spitter's going to try and get some delay there. They still have a Boomer, but that's the only spawn they have. The Boomer may be waiting below. What I would personally do here, I don't know about you guys, but I would personally send the Boomer in when they drop, and then hope the tank spawn. If the tank spawns there, just send the tank in, pretty much.
Yeah, well, this spot is quite difficult if you're boomed.
Absolutely.
So, let's hope for a quad boom and a nice wipe for the tank.
Indeed, and we have a Smoker, Boomer, Charger, and a Jockey. They may actually be looking to attack on the drop down here. There is Coach down there. He gets separated as well as the tank is now spawned. They need to make something happen here. This is actually a very good chance with... but unfortunately, the Boomer hasn't actually managed to attack with that Jockey. That was a very good Jockey. He's managed to reduce Coach's HP down to 48. He is now 2 punches away from incap because each punch from the tank is 25 damage, so he will be incapped in 2 punches unless he takes a set of pain pills, which he will be probably looking to do. We do have the Boomer in the hands of Toff, actually, and because of his map knowledge and because of his general game sense, he should be able to make something happen. That's what it's going to come down to. And obviously we do have Jays' second attempt at a tank. Hopefully he's going to redeem himself as he's going to be progressively moving in here. No survivors are going to put themselves in there. He tries to jump to avoid the stumble. He's already on 4th. Nice Boomer there, that's what they need. Maybe some separation going on here as well. He does free the smoke victim though, but he will incap him anyway. Still 2 survivors boomed. The tank is on 3,000 HP. He's still moving in. He gets another punch onto Nick. A lot of damage happening here. Can they make more happen? Nick is now incapped. He's going to try and pin somebody down at 1,000 HP. There's going to be separation happening here as well. He gets another punch onto Ellis. A lot's going down here, guys. This is intense. He does miss a punch, unfortunately. That's not what he needs. No.
That was so close.
Crytex is dead. Croach died, so actually, considering how that went, they actually managed to make a lot happen there. Very, very nicely played. That was definitely a successful attempt at redemption by Jays there, especially with the Boomer.
Indeed. But I have to say that I kind of disagree with sending all the rest of the support in at the same time as the tank. I think he could have possibly get the incap before sending the Smoker in, as an example, or the Charge.
Yeah,
Yeah, indeed. The smoker victim was actually punched away and therefore he was freed, so a little bit of miscommunication. But they have 3 survivors to make it through this very devastating... Boomer's going to rocket in, successfully landing onto 1 survivor. All the spawns may be following, or they may be waiting for them to leave the room here. We do have a charger moving in from above as well as a spitter. They both went for the same target, so there won't be any damage onto Ellis there from the charger. Unfortunately, the smoker actually went for the guy the charger was going for, and he pulled him out of the path, and therefore the charger did not land onto anybody. Very unfortunate. So far, they have a boomer to work with, depending on whether he sends it in now or whether he waits for the choke point. Also have to keep in mind that we have not had a witch yet. And Boomer's going to rocket in, successfully landing onto Nick there. Very nicely done. There's a Hunter pouncing around. They may be able to get a tri-cap here as they have a Smoker, Charger, and a Hunter. Hunter's pouncing around. Has taken some damage, though. 125. Charger's moving in. He goes for...
Nice recap!
It's a tri-cap, guys. There you go. That's what we want to see. Very well played by Team Baguettes and Wine there. They got a successful tri-cap with the Charger, Hunter, and the Smoker. The Smoker got the last guy. Very nice charge. Very nice Hunter. Very nice Smoker. Very nice Boomer. And that's going to conclude the round, guys. Very well played by them.
So maybe we do see the comeback. I'm hoping.
I'm hoping. Finger crossed. Finger crossed.
That tank fight will be extremely difficult, though.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. We can't forget how difficult that tank fight is. So, really, they've shown themselves to be very good at shutting down boomers. But they need to really especially show that this time with that tank fight, because that boomer, if it lands as you saw, I mean, they had 1 person die. I mean, that was best case scenario, 1 person died. And if you imagine that's best case scenario, you don't really want to know what the worst case scenario is. It's pretty much death. So, gonna have to see how they play here. Well, I'm excited to see this. We're gonna see... I would predict about between 2 and 4 attacks, depending on how they go, and then we're going to be seeing the tank. So let's see how it goes. Initial setup will be... Midnight, could you respec, please? You're apparently a charger, and I know you're not a charger. Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, and a Spitter will be the initial setup here. So you're going to need to respec it again, I'm afraid. It says you're a jockey now. Now it says you're a charger. Okay, well, we're going to have to... apparently Midnight's a charger, guys. With this just in.
You can record stuff.
Yeah. I will be doing that. So we have a bit of patience going on here actually, because we have readied up, but they're not looking to be leaving yet. We'll have to see how they pull this attack off, really, because I think it's mostly going to come down to any separation from the Smoker, as well as some stumbles in the Spit. Thing is, you know, the Boomer can't really get close to them very easily because they're on a ramp, and he has to walk up that ramp to get to them. So, if for some reason he can get a kill, and you know, he can stumble the survivors in the Spit.
Reloading.
But yes, we will have to see.
No smooching, y'all.
A very patient gameplay going on here by the survivors. We've got Coach on the railing. He's looking to be moving forward. We do actually have 2 Uzis and 2 shotguns on the survivors here. Predictably, Toph will be going shotgun, which I completely understand, being a Left 4 Dead 1 player, as well as 2. Boomer's from inside the room here. He's noticed immediately and shut down. There's a Spitter moving in. Hunter from behind. He gets shut down on the railing. Smoker's going to try and pull Rochelle into the Spit there. Does successfully manage it and getting some last-minute damage. Nonetheless, all spawns are down now for at least 18 seconds, so they're going to be progressing forward through the Tunnel of Love. Hopefully getting to the generator room before any other attacks can happen, which will be really the pace you're looking for in this kind of scenario.
Reloading.
Jockey, Spitter, and a Boomer is what they're going to have so far. Final spawn will be a Hunter. Decent setup, really, for the Tunnel of Love with the Boomer and the Spitter. Boomer's going to land onto 1 survivor by proxy. Hunter's going to be pouncing around very soon. He will be going from the front, Jockey from the back. He gets shut down very nicely there, actually. Spitter does not manage to connect with anybody. Very nicely shut down by that Hunter, actually. That was quite impressive. I believe that was Toph while he was boomed. So, yeah, showing himself to be pretty good.
Yeah, looks like they are starting to wake up, maybe doing a bit better job at shutting down these attacks.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when you look at the progression, map 1, they looked a bit rusty. Map 2, they were getting into their stride. And map 3, as you can see here so far, they're pretty much playing perfectly so far. Let's hope they can translate that into the tank. There's a Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, and a Smoker. No Charger for the past 2 attacks, actually, in the hands of Mocarz. So I have to see how they play this. There is a Spitter pre-spawned at the drop-down, as well as a Smoker who's not pre-spawned, but he's waiting in a similar location. They're just playing quite patiently here. They actually have switched to 3 Uzis. There's a Smoker, the victim, actually in the front there, as well as some spit onto him. That won't be accumulating much damage, though. That does mean they only have a Boomer, which is very smart by Mocarz for saving that Boomer. It is also in the hands of Krychax, who is a very good player, so he is going to know where to boom from, much like Jay's. Not Jay's, sorry. He was tank. That would be Toph, who I'm talking about.
Sneaky Hunter from behind. Can he manage?
Can he manage? He's pouncing around. He's looking for it, but he won't be able to make anything happen here. He's still pouncing around, though. We'll have to see what happens here. They do have that Boomer still. Tank is going to be spawned in the hands of Jacek. We have a Boomer, Hunter, and a Smoker, which is, oh dear, the Smoker and Boomer. Nice rock there, actually, through the ton of love, through that kind of angle, managing to connect with the survivor there. That rock just actually nearly hit Ellis. So 1 shotgun, 3 Uzis, as I say. That Boomer needs to be really watched out for. The tank is most likely... Oh, they tried some separation there, actually, but the Smoker is going to end up dying. Tank is on 5% or 10% of his pass number 1, and they have to wait for another spawn, so he is literally going to have to go in with this next spawn no matter what it is. That curve rock was actually very close to hitting Ellis there. That's lucky for him, unlucky for the tank. Just trying his luck with these curve rocks. He's on 35%. He needs to be moving in pretty, and he's doing just that. Uzis are focus firing him, taking him down to 4,600 and declining. Boomer's going to be going from on top, but they are looking for it. Boomer's going to get a successful boom onto 3 survivors. Oh no, this is not looking good for them. There's a separation jockey onto Ellis into the room as well. Tank is going to stop Rochelle from getting any attempts at freeing her. Or him, sorry. There's going to be the tank pushing in to the survivors. He does actually miss 1 punch, and the second punch again. They have a melee weapon and a shotgun here. He's on 2,100 HP, but he's on just about enough health, really, to completely wipe them. Misses another punch, mind you. Jai, aka Rochelle, may be dying here because of the common infected. Nice rock there by the tank. He'll be landing onto Coach. 1,400, 900 health. He's going to be getting an in-cap, and there's only Nick alive. He's going to be charged. They have been wiped. It's so unfortunate, and it's literally because of it was because of the Boomer.
God damn.
Oh, poor guys. They had such... I mean, obviously they haven't lost yet, but nonetheless, that was a very good chance for them to make a comeback, and unfortunately, it was just the Boomer. But then again, what do? The Boomer is just very easy to land because of dropping down, and very hard to kill in time, because you can't kill him when he's in your face, because you'll get boomed. So,
But this is exactly what Iban was talking about before. They actually didn't send their spawns that early, and that managed to get vibe with that. Because they went a little late, went for the tank to get an in-cap, and then just vibe
Well,
them.
apart from that jockey who did get that separation.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
Other than that,
But I need to get props to Jacek, to be honest, for a tank plays, because I noticed his curve rocks are really on the point in this tournament.
yeah, that is actually a point worth mentioning. His curve rocks were very good. I mean, especially considering there were so many... I don't know what to call them really, but you know those like kind of slopes on the walls? If the rock connects with them, it actually will cut the rock, but he actually managed to avoid them, get it round about 2 corners, and still land on a survivor multiple times. So very nice curve rocks by Jacek. Good point.
yes, I'm doing it right now.
So, this is going to be the final chapter of this Dark Carnival series. Gonna have to see who comes out on top here, because we have a Nico tank, and as we were saying in the first chapter before the game went live, we do know that that Nico is a pretty good player, so we'll see what he can bring to the table in terms of his tank gameplay. The tank is going to be at 35%, so it's fairly early. Initial setup will be a smoker, charger, spitter, and a jockey. Most of the spawns are from a similar location, which could be to their disadvantage. Charger's moving in from the guy out back there, actually. Charge spit combination out the back here, as well as potentially a death spit. That's a lot of damage onto Ellis there. Look at that damage. That's what they need. Very good job by them.
The second successful first attack from Team Baguettes and Wine. I like to see that.
Yes. Let's hope they can keep this up and maybe wipe this tank. Maybe.
Yep.
I know Nico is a fairly good tank player, so I have faith.
Indeed. We do have Ellis on 22 HP. Rocket Boomer from behind, nicely shut down actually by Ellis, shutting him down before the Vomit can connect. Charger, Spitter, and a Jockey is what they have to work with, probably in this room here. Going to be looking for a similar kind of damage infliction here. Jockey moving in first, successfully lands actually, scratch combination, interception, nice interception onto Rochelle there, and the Jockey is still going. He's going to be separating him. Could they actually get the tank? The tank is spawned, and oh my god, Coach is being separated into the tank here. The tank may be looking to go in. Can they free him in time? He's got common infected around him. He's going to be going down soon. He can't make it out here. He's going to be going down to the tank. Tank's going to be moving in. That's what they need. The dumpster's right there next to Rochelle. He's going to be successfully incapacitating her. Nice punch there onto Ellis in the doorway. Nico showing himself to be a very good tank player here as he's going to be punching these bumper cars around. Only 2 survivors remaining. Can they make something happen here? Gets a punch onto Ellis, and he's now going to be slow in the corner. He will be going down after one more punch, and he will just simply... He's gone. One more survivor remaining. He is boomed, so it's not looking good for them here. He's going to be moving out into the open area. Jockey's going to land onto him after the stumble, and we have a wipe, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the chance for a comeback we've been waiting for.
Oh my god, I'm so happy for these guys at the moment.
Literally shaking.
Yeah,
Right,
I know, right?
What is with these games being so intense? but then again, you can kind of expect it from the quarterfinal stages. We've got a lot of knockouts happening, and now we've got all of the fairly evenly matched teams going on here. They have a little bit below a 700-point margin. So we had a very nice separation jockey, very nice charger interception, very nicely spawned tank. They knew that tank was spawning there. That was not accidental, by the way, guys. That was not luck. They knew the tank was there, and they knew exactly what they were doing.
perfect.
Do not doubt that, guys. These guys definitely did that on purpose.
Yes, the Chucky was the MVP here for triggering the tank. It was 3-3.
Absolutely, and he was surrounded by common infected as well, so there was no chance he was making it out alive. I tell you what, if I was Team Mocarz right now, I would be shaking, because this is scary. This is a scary situation to be in. They know exactly when that tank will spawn, and they can prepare for it, so they can get themselves in a better location. And if they have a good enough point margin, they could actually take this game back. So this is kind of this is looking good. This is the kind of game I was hoping to cast, and this is exactly what I was looking forward to. Then again, guys, we have to remember this tank is going to be in the hands of Krychax, and we do know what he can do. We do know he's a very skilled player. We saw him actually crown a witch with a jockey chasing him. We've seen him skeet while being boomed and all sorts. So I don't doubt for a second that his tank will be any less good. Spitter, jockey, charger, and a smoker is going to be the initial very devastating setup here. So we'll have to see how they play this. They're being very patient because they know this is their chance. Top, aka Ellis, will be moving outside. Jockey moving in, Charger moving in. Charger's going to try and land onto somebody. He just barely misses Coach there. Coach wasn't aware of him, but he will shut down before anything can happen. And already we can see here they're in a better position in terms of their health. Because the previous time, I don't remember who it was, but somebody took like 80 damage. So much better health at the moment. And if anything, if they're quick enough here, they could actually trigger the tank. It's just depending on what they do, whether they have the guts to do that or not. Spawns will be coming up. Well, every spawn in total will be in 7 seconds. Tank is spawning up fairly soon. The special infected will potentially be looking to do a similar thing. There's Charger, Smoker, Boomer, and a Jockey, which is not the setup they're going to be hoping for. The Jockey's in the hands of Krychax, who will be passing away that Jockey when he becomes tank, unless he sends it in before he gets it. Boomer's waiting on the rooftop there. Smoker separation attempt. There's a Boomer on the roof there. Gets onto Toph. He melees and kills that Jockey. The tongue is cut. They're looking decent. They do have 2 survivors boomed though, so it depends on whether or not they want to trigger the tank. Personally, I would, even because if you don't, then you're going to give him another attack. There's a Charger from behind. He's going to be moving in here, but they're already in the house and they're already into the bumper car area. so they're going to be making it outside into the traditional tank fight location. Smoker's repositioning with the charger on the rooftop there, both of them pre-spawned up. The tank in the hands of Krychak is going to be looking to bring some dumpsters in, which they need to be so careful of because they are, you know, it's quite easy to get these into position really, which he will probably show here. Yeah, that's one dumpster going onto the roof there. And then again, they will be kind of in the bumper car area to avoid getting hit by these on a preliminary basis. He's going to be climbing up onto the cart and then onto the roof. He's on 5% of his pass number 1 and is now on pass number 2. So essentially, whatever the next spawn is, he has to move in with it, which will be in 5 seconds. 60% of his first pass. It's going to be looking very like a very intense situation. They do not have a boomer. They have a charger, smoker, and a hunter. 2 of whom, like I say, are pre-spawned. He's moving in for the first punch here. He can't find anybody yet, and he's already on 3,500 HP. Separation Smoker is already cleared. Charger's moving in, cannot connect with anybody, and there's a hunter pouncing around as well. Krychak is trying to pin somebody. He misses a punch, though. Successfully lands a punch onto Nico, aka Nick. He's going to be trying to land one more punch, but the tank is dead. Look at that, guys. He's dead with only 2 punches landed.
Clean.
This is looking good for Team Baguettes and Wine. What we like to see.
Is this the comeback that we were hoping for? Well, maybe not hoping for because we're not biased here, but at least, you know, kind of the excitement we were hoping for. Their lowest HP guy is Nico, aka Nick. I love that he's Nico on Nick. That's funny. He's on 48 HP. They have 1 shotgun and 3 Uzis, and they put them to very good use in that tank fight. Unfortunately, there was no boomer to work with for Team Mocarz, so slightly unfortunate for them. Charger, boomer, spitter, and a jockey will be the setup here, most of whom will be above the survivors. There's a 400-point margin separating these teams at the moment, so they need to make these attacks count as much as they can. Boomer goes from on the rooftop there, but is unable to connect with anybody, so that's unfortunate for them. Jockey from behind the corner, he's going to be jumping around. Charger moves in as well, gets a successful charge, actually, onto Rochelle. She's taking a lot of damage. There's a jockey into the spit as well. That's the kind of damage they're hoping to not take, really. That's a lot of damage happening, and if any more attacks like that, and it could be the end of them, but they still have 300 points to actually garner if they want to secure this win. But with attacks like that, you know, they've already used the medkit. Let's just hope that they try not to let that happen again, really, because that was a very good attack. Very nicely done with the spit.
Tough healing up, doesn't want to take any chances on his team losing him this time.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I don't want to repeat of map 2. There's a boomer, smoker, spitter, and a charger. This could even be one of their last attacks. Boomer's going to be from below. Doesn't connect again. Very nice awareness from these survivors, denying these. That's actually a highlight from both of these teams. They've been very good at shutting down boomers and denying them a chance. Smoker from behind is going to be pulling Nick, but he cuts the tongue there. That could actually have saved his life, really, although Coach is waiting on top there. Charger's moving in. He's shut down before he can connect at all. Spit is going to be trying to get some delay here. Smoker's a victim will be Coach on the rooftop, but he will be cleared immediately. So, yeah, instantly cleared in 0.52 seconds. They're going to be triggering this event here. There's a hunter wall kicking and getting some scratches. They can't actually make it through. They have to make it through the event in order to secure the win. They have to garner about 80 more points here. So, got to see what happens. The attack is going to be up for 10 seconds. In another 10 seconds, I am losing words. I am actually forgetting how to speak. There's a spitter, boomer, and a jockey. Final spawn is going to be in 3 seconds. Which is going to be a smoker, so they actually have arguably, like we say, the worst setup in the game, which is not what they want to see. Most of the spawns are going to be on the rooftop there. This is really their final attempt. If they can make something happen here, they could potentially get a wipe if they get the pressure right. Have to see. They haven't attacked yet. There's a smoker spawning up, getting a separation smoke, but again, the boomer shot. The boomer has been cleared, and that is the difference maker there. Jockey's moving in onto Rochelle. They're going to be running through this crescendo. They know they want this win, so they're going to be running as fast as they bloody can. Excuse my language, guys, but, you know, you can forgive me. This is intense. They have 15 more points. It looks like they're going to win, guys. They have won. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the comeback of the tournament. Look at this, guys. Team Baguettes and Wine managed to make the comeback, make it with 3 medkits, kill the tank on 2 punches. That was the comeback of the tournament so far. That was so exciting, and I'm so happy for Baguettes and Wine, and I'm so unhappy for Mocarz. They look like the stronger team. Wow. What a game, guys. What a comeback.
What a game, what a game.
Indeed. I'm still shaking from this.
I'm shaking as well. That was Oh, so well played there by the jockey separation, the tank, securing them, the comeback. Just like I say, that is definitely going down in history as one of the best comebacks. They did not look like they were the strongest team until the last map when they just pulled, because you can see they were progressively getting better each round, which is very...
Yeah.
Then let's do it. Everybody grab a weapon and
Whew. Well, that's it from us, guys. There is a match coming up fairly soon. Unfortunately, though, I will not be casting it, but nonetheless, there probably will be a cast. So I look forward to that, guys. There will be another one fairly soon, and from us, it will be goodbye, and thank you for tuning in.
Goodbye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.